Let's take a couple of moments and we'll walk through the audio settings menu on the AVIC-7000NEX. So I'm going to touch my gear button up here, and we're going to go to the speaker right here to get into our audio settings. First up is the graphic EQ, and you can get more information about using the graphic EQ by checking out the graphic EQ video. Next is our fader and balance control. We'll open that window, and here we have kind of a graphical representation of a fade and balance control. And you can make any adjustments that you want to the right or left, front or back there. We'll go back up. Next is our mute level, and right now our mute is set to attenuate, which means to lower the volume. And when we get instruction from our internal GPS system or we make a phone call, we can choose to have the system attenuate the music, which means to lower the volume, or to completely mute the music, which means to cut it out completely. Or we can choose to have that completely ignored. We can switch that part of the system off, which means it will be no change to the music when we get a phone call or when we get an instruction from navigation. For right now, I'm going to set that on to mute. Next is our source level adjuster, and if you see, source level adjuster is grayed out because we're not on an adjustable source. So let's change our source. We're going to hit the home button, and we will change our source to Sirius XM for right now. And we're going to go back to our audio settings, and our source level adjuster is lit up at 0. Let's open that window. So now I have Sirius XM as my source, and we can adjust the volume of Sirius XM as compared to FM. If Sirius XM is louder than FM, we can make it a little quieter, or we can make it a little louder if we want to. So the idea here is when we switch between sources, they should all be around the same volume level as compared to FM. So you have this adjustment for all of your available sources. We'll go back up. Next is our rear speaker output. Right now the rear speaker output is turned on, and we have a fade and balance control. If I switch the rear speaker output off, our balance control, our fade and balance just turns into a balance control. So we're going to switch that rear speaker output back on for right now. Let's scroll down a little here, and we get to our subwoofer, speaker level, and crossover settings. And you see our subwoofer settings are grayed out right now because the subwoofer is turned off. So the first thing we'll do is switch our subwoofer on, and you can see our subwoofer settings now lit up. Now let's take a look at our crossover settings. Our crossover settings have a graphical representation of what a crossover looks like. And this is our front crossover, and our high-pass filter is turned off right now. So let's switch our high-pass filter on, and this is our crossover, and we can grab that and drag it to a different crossover frequency. And once we've chosen a frequency, we can adjust the slope from 6 to 18 dB per octave. If I touch this button, I switch to my rear crossover, and again, the high-pass filter is turned off right now. Let's switch the high-pass filter on, and I can change my rear crossover to a different crossover point and to a different slope. If I adjust here, now I'm on my subwoofer crossover, and I can change my subwoofer crossover and change the slope of my subwoofer crossover there. I can also choose to change the phase of the subwoofer output between normal and reverse. Now if you notice, there's no boost or cut to these crossover points. We'll do that on the next setting, which is our speaker level. On speaker level, we can choose to adjust the volume of any given speaker in the system independently compared to the others. We can make each speaker a little bit louder or a little bit quieter, and that includes the subwoofer compared to the other speakers in the system. It's a very powerful audio tool. We'll go back up. Next is our listening position, which right now is switched off. We'll switch that on to the front position, left or right, or all seats. Choose the listening position selection that sounds best to you. We'll go back up. We'll scroll down a little further here to time alignment, and we'll open that window. And right now you'll see that the time alignment is on. We're going to use a listening position selection of the front left for the driver's seat. And each of the speakers in the system is set at a certain distance from the driver's listening position. We can adjust those, we can adjust those distances and digitally delay or speed up the time that the sound from any given speaker reaches the driver. And that also is a very, very powerful audio quality tool to help create a beautiful stereo image inside your vehicle. We can go back up. Our last two selections here are for auto EQ and auto time alignment. And right now they're both grayed out because the audio system is on. So let's turn the audio system off. We're going to hit the home button, touch AV, and we'll switch the audio system off. I'm going to touch the gears again and go back to my speaker and scroll down to the bottom. And here's our auto EQ and time alignment system. We can begin that sequence by touching the screen here, and we would plug in the optional CD-MC20 microphone right here and begin the auto EQ and time alignment sequence. The last thing on our list here is auto sound levelizer. Right now it's grayed out and turned off. We need to turn on a source to make this work. So I'm going to go to my home button and we'll pick Sirius XM as a source. Go back to the gears and scroll down to the bottom of the list to ASL. You can see it's lit up now, but it's turned off. Auto sound levelizer will automatically change the volume compared to the road noise as you're driving. Choose the setting of auto sound levelizer that works the best for you.